PlayStation making crossplay available to everything now. Devs are just go nuts. So it's not just PlayStation and PC anymore. Now it's PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, Xbox. PlayStation finally gave up and said, okay, we're going to stop being fuckboys.
It's about time.
And we're just going to let you guys decide what games you're going to allow crossplay for. We're going to open it up. You do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Thank fuck.
Well, it's about time. Like
I don't know why it took them so long.
Stubbornness. They want to be elite, right? They want to sell consoles. They want people, because when you do this, right? Now you go, okay, if I want to play this game with my friends or I want to play this game, I have to buy it on PlayStation. Now they go, now you have choice, right? And that's never a good thing for PlayStation in their eyes, even though, in my opinion, it's better because now you're opening up and allowing people to, you're adding more value to owning the console, essentially. But I think what a lot of it is, hey, if only people can play over here on PlayStation, got to go buy a PS, you got to go buy a PlayStation. I think that's the only reason why they ever did it.
It kind of goes, so there, the way I see it is that there's degrees to this, right? If you were starting from like a level playing field where, let's say you and I, as friends, we own 0 consoles right now.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it going, okay, you and I, we want to play a shitload of Call of Duty. And as it stands right now, coincidentally, another piece of our news is related to this, but we'll avoid that for now. So Call of Duty, and we're deciding what console we're going to buy. And as it turns out, we have other friends that play the game as well. They're in different ecosystems. Maybe some's on PC, some's on Xbox, some are on Xbox, etc., etc. And in the old market for PlayStation, it was okay. Well, if most of our friends are on PlayStation, then we have no options.
Yeah.
If it was anywhere else, we had several options to choose from, and it was based on what's good for us. But it's a two-way street thing. If you aren't in a position where you don't already own a console.
Yeah.
So let's say, as of right now, I own a PlayStation, you own an Xbox, a buddy that we play with plays on the PC or whatever the fuck, for whatever game we're playing together. And the Xbox and the PC can play no problems. PlayStation's in their own fucking little island. And so, but this isn't at the beginning of the console's life. This is like, let's say we're three years deep.
Yeah.
And now I have to choose, do I buy a totally new console or invest in a new platform just for one game?
Yeah.
And I think that is a far less likely scenario when you're 3 years deep into a console's life cycle than you are if you are at a place where in the beginning and you and I both don't own one, then we're choosing together.
Yeah.
So like the odds of it are, I mean, if you're talking about how many people are actually going to go out and buy a goddamn console to play games with friends when you're 3 years deep into a console, 4 years deep console generation.
And they just have money to burn.
It's probably not very many people.
Yeah.
So opening up crossplay, what that does mean though, especially when you're in this scenario where you're 3, 4, 5 years deep, is that you're just going to likely sell more games because now as me, a PlayStation owner in that scenario, I'm going to buy the game that you own on another platform. But if we weren't in that situation and I couldn't play with you, I just flat out don't buy the game and nobody gets anything.
That's true.
They just get dick.
Yeah.
So
I think what it is too is now they've won the console war, right? They've won this
generation. Handily.
They've won it. So and they're diehards now. It's one of those things where you're pretty much at this point. I don't think there's very many people in the console world right now that don't already own a PlayStation today and play PlayStation that they aren't going to buy the next gen PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think what it is now is you're almost asking for the Xbox people that go, okay, do I buy PlayStation instead of Xbox this year? Mm-hmm. Because let's be real. I mean, Sony has done way more.
If you're betting on this generation, it's going to be harder to bet on Xbox for the next gen.
Exactly, but the fact that they're opening this up, it's going to give more of a reason for Xbox people
to just stay with the Xbox.
No.
Or jump to PlayStation.
To jump to PlayStation.
Oh, so they can play with...
they could... Exactly,
unless
right?
It's exclusive titles.
Because it's exclusive titles. So... And if they're opening up for multiplayer so that people can play with their Xbox friends, why not jump to PlayStation? They have no reason to be at Xbox anymore because Xbox was already playing with the PC and whoever else they want to link up with.
Yeah.
Now PlayStation's doing it. So if you go, okay, well, I normally bought Xbox because my boys had an Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, now, why don't we just buy PlayStation? They're going to have more exclusives. They sell more consoles, so you feel like you're more in the in.
Yeah.
PlayStation just is the show right now. It's up to Xbox to kind of change the minds of the consumer during this next run. So I actually think this is a good play by PlayStation. It's kind of weird they waited so long.
Oh, I don't think they had a choice anymore because when everyone else on the field,
I suppose you kind of look like that.
You kind of look like a dick.
You kind of look like
right?
that asshole that's just not on board with this.
People might be okay with it for a while, and then after a time, it's just going to get like grating, where they hear all their friends are having no issues doing whatever the fuck on their side.
Like, who's not going to buy a place? Like, think about it. Like, the vast majority of people that own a PlayStation today
are going to go for the next PlayStation.
They're going to go for the next PlayStation. Like, who? Why would you go? I'm just gonna fuck PlayStation now.
Well, I think
I'm gonna go
Xbox. I think this is why you're seeing currently PlayStation buying up people like Xbox is buying up people in terms of developers.
Yep.
Because there's going to be so much parity between these consoles that exclusives are going to be the determining factor. Exclusives and then services.
Yep.
So you're even seeing the match services. PlayStation Now, the Xbox, the Xbox, I can't remember what they fucking call it now. The Xbox's service, though, same thing. Streaming games. What value are they providing? Do you need Xbox Live Gold to play games online? Do you need PlayStation Plus to play these games online when you're getting into these streaming services? What are available? Well, on the Xbox's side, all of their first-party titles, of which they just keep cranking out. Available PC, Xbox, day one, and Game Pass. That's the name of it. Game Pass, day one. No questions asked. And so it's a lot of, where in the last generation when we first started this, it was a lot of like weird services being at the forefront. This next generation of consoles coming is all games. Nobody's talking about any weird fucking football simulator. You
bring that shit up, you're losing.
You've lost. There's no peripheral. You notice there's no peripherals. They're barely even talking about VR. Like PlayStation's even like hush hush about VR. Nobody's talking games.
Well, it has to be.
It's games.
It has to be now.
That's it. And it's games and then some buzzwords for how good the consoles are going to look. And at the end of the day, they're going to be basically at parity. They're using almost identical hardware. And like we talked about this before, it'll be engineers versus engineers. It's who's going to squeeze the most juice out of the hardware that both of them are basically using. And odds are it's going to be plus or minus so little that it's not going to be that big.
Bro,
it's
you're
going to be
buying
what
it
games
for
do you want?
first-party titles. That's the show and brand loyalty,
which wasn't necessarily it wasn't necessarily that case this generation. Like people bought the PlayStation for its first party titles for sure, but I think that was more about the case. Because Xbox had so few, it wasn't because in the console gen before that, Xbox and PlayStation both had a lot of exclusives, and so it was a much harder choice to make. This time around, it wasn't that PlayStation had like this fucking endless list of exclusives. It was like Xbox's one was like like two. It was like, what flavor of Forza and Gears of War would you like?
Yes,
and that's what you got.
That was the action Mass Effect.
Not even that.
No,
we got Andromeda.
That's right.
So there's nothing.
That's it.
There's fucking nothing.
It's two.
But this time around, totally different ball game, right? We saw Microsoft be the first to strike, buying up all that shit that we saw at E3.
Yeah.
And now, only just more recently, we see Sony coming in and saying we're doing the same shit. And so they're going to be getting all these, like smaller developers, feed them a bunch of money and going, all right, you're going to war for us. They got their pawns in their great chess game. They have their pawns now. To send out onto the field, and then every once in a while there'll be a big old dick. The Queen's going to come out.
It's actually going to be an exciting.
I think this next gen for games in terms of exclusives is going to be interesting.
Dude, I'm honest to God, I'm not even excited about, because console gaming for me is whatever now. I'm a PC gamer.
I want to get excited about console gaming again. I want a reason to be on the couch.
I do too.
I just want a reason. I'm currently looking for a way to get my PC to my TV.
Yes.
So that there are games I can play.
That is so true.
On the couch.
Yes.
Problem is, most of the games on the PC, you don't want to play with a controller.
You don't.
So you're fucked either way. And so,
I'm just more excited to see the war happen and how this unfolds, because it's an exciting time. I think the consumers are going to win here. And finally you're seeing companies actually fight for your money. Yeah. Which is nice. There's some serious competition, and it's nice. And Xbox is against the ropes. They've got some come up to do, and Sony's just trying to hammer it to them. So I can't wait. Bring it on. I just want to see the show.
Oh, and the show is coming, bro.
What's up next?
And it's coming. And for
coming
PlayStation,
soon.
And for PlayStation and Xbox, don't forget saving the environment. Don't forget.
One console at a time.
One console at a time.